This soap opera continues. These were the exact words used to describe the latest twist in the unfolding legal drama involving State Senator Napoleon Harris and Thoron Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. Just one day after filing a lawsuit against Harris, Harry's team submitted an emergency motion to dismiss it, citing an administrative misfiling. But how does such a serious case end up being withdrawn in less than 24 hours? Lawsuits aren't filed by accident. They require careful planning, evidence, and legal strategy. So why did this case fall apart so quickly? Could it be disorganization, political maneuvering, or something even deeper? In today's video, we'll unravel the timeline of events, analyze the stakes, and explore how this controversy has captured public attention. This case isn't just about a lawsuit. It's a reflection of leadership, trust, and the high-pressure world of politics. Let's dive in. The controversy between State Senator Napoleon Harris and Thoron Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard has become a tangled web of allegations, political intrigue, and procedural missteps. Sanctuaries? Wait, where's my sack suicide notebook? Not mine, sack suicide notebook. So, to understand the weight of this unfolding drama, let's break down the timeline of events and the history behind the key players involved. On the surface, the story began when Tiffany Henyard filed a lawsuit against Harris, which was swiftly followed by an emergency motion to dismiss it just 24 hours later. The stated reason? An administrative misfiling. But this explanation raises more questions than answers. Was this a genuine mistake, or is there more going on beneath the surface? Adding to the confusion, Mayor Roberts, whose notarized affidavit was a key piece of the filing, publicly claimed that he was unaware of the lawsuit and had not authorized his involvement. This public distancing from Roberts has cast doubt on the legitimacy of Harry's initial filing and has fueled speculation about whether his inclusion was a strategic error or an intentional gamble. The history between Harris and Henyard adds another layer of complexity. Harris, as a prominent state senator, has faced his share of political battles, but this lawsuit appears to have intensified pre-existing tensions. On the other hand, Henyard, as Thoron Township Supervisor, has faced criticism over her leadership style, with accusations of disorganization and impulsive decision-making. This lawsuit, its abrupt withdrawal, and the surrounding chaos may further dent her credibility as a public leader. Prior disputes between the two have added fuel to the fire. Harris has often portrayed himself as a champion of political integrity, while Harry's critics have accused her of using lawsuits as a tool for political or personal gain. Could this be another case of political theater, or are Harry's claims grounded in legitimate grievances? Roberts' public claim of being added to the lawsuit without consent is another bombshell in this saga. If true, it could point to a significant oversight or miscommunication within Harry's legal team. Alternatively, could this distancing be a calculated move by Roberts to avoid the fallout from a case that seemed shaky from the start? I don't think it is. I think this backdrop paints a picture of political rivalries, public trust at stake, and a legal battle that has unraveled almost as quickly as it began. Understanding this context is key to grasping the complexities of the case and the motivations driving each party. The sudden dismissal of Tiffany Henyard's lawsuit against State Senator Napoleon Harris within just 24 hours has drawn widespread skepticism. The stated reason, a supposed administrative misfiling, seems far too convenient for a case of this magnitude. Legal processes, particularly lawsuits involving public officials, are typically methodical and deliberate, requiring extensive documentation and careful scrutiny before filing. This abrupt withdrawal raises questions about the legitimacy of lawsuit and the competency of Harry's legal team. Lawsuits are not filed on a whim. They require a well-defined claim, supported by evidence, and must follow strict procedural guidelines. The suggestion that an administrative misfiling could derail such a significant case points to either glaring disorganization or an attempt to cover deeper strategic issues. Critics argue that Harry's legal team should have ensured the filing was airtight before bringing such a high-profile matter to court. Adding to the complexity is the fact that the dismissal was without prejudice, a legal term indicating that the case can be refiled in the future. While this leaves the door open for Harry to pursue her claims, it also reflects poorly on the case's initial presentation. Dismissing a case so quickly implies a lack of preparation, or perhaps an awareness of potential weaknesses in the claims. Without prejudice, dismissals are often used when plaintiffs need to regroup, gather more evidence, or adjust their strategy, but in the court of public opinion, it can be perceived as a misstep or even an admission of overreach. Another glaring issue involves the role of Mayor Roberts and his notarized affidavit. Despite its inclusion in the filing, Roberts publicly stated that he was unaware of the lawsuit and had not authorized his involvement. This discrepancy not only undermines the case, but also casts doubt on Harry's strategy. If Roberts was intended to be a central figure in the lawsuit, his public distancing suggests either a failure in communication or a rushed attempt to bolster the case without his consent. Why would Roberts backtrack so publicly? One possibility is that he recognized the lawsuit's potential to devolve into a political liability. By distancing himself, Roberts may have been trying to avoid the fallout of being associated with a case that was unraveling from the outset. However, his withdrawal likely threw Harry's legal strategy into disarray, especially if his affidavit was intended to lend credibility to her claims. Legal experts, real or hypothetical, could argue that dismissing a lawsuit within such a short time frame signals a lack of procedural integrity. High-profitable lawsuits are scrutinized not just for their claims, but also for the way they are presented. Filing and withdrawing a case in rapid succession, should they decide to refile, seems to be spotty of fact. I'd love to know why, as legal analyst John Doe might note. For a case to gain traction, it must first establish credibility in its filing. A swift dismissal erodes trust and raises doubts about the plaintiff's motives and competence. The abrupt dismissal also raises broader questions about the handling of public legal battles. Was the filing a calculated move to generate attention or pressure Harris into an out-of-court settlement? Or was it a genuine but poorly executed attempt to hold Harris accountable? Regardless of the answer, the mishandling of the lawsuit reflects poorly on Harry's leadership and her legal team's preparedness. Ultimately, the dismissal not only delays Harry's pursuit of justice, but also creates a perception of chaos, damaging her credibility and undermining the seriousness of her claims. If she intends to refile, she will need to address these procedural flaws and ensure that her case is both legally sound and publicly convincing. The sudden withdrawal of Mayor Roberts from Tiffany Henyard's lawsuit against Napoleon Harris has raised significant questions about the strategic integrity of her case. Roberts' notarized affidavit, initially included in the filing, appeared to be a critical piece of evidence supporting Harry's claims. However, his subsequent public distancing, in which he stated he was unaware of the lawsuit and had not consented to his involvement, has thrown the case into turmoil. Losing such a key figure at this stage is more than a procedural hiccup. It's a strategic blow that undermines the lawsuit's credibility, evidence, and public perception. From a legal perspective, Roberts' withdrawal weakens Harry's position significantly. Affidavits serve as formal declarations, often central to substantiating claims in court. Roberts' distancing suggests either a fundamental miscommunication or, worse, an overreach by Harry's legal team in including him without explicit authorization. This creates a perception of disorganization and casts doubt on the reliability of Harry's other evidence. In a high-profile case where public opinion can be as influential as legal arguments, this type of misstep is particularly damaging. For Harris' legal team, Roberts' withdrawal signals a lack of preparation and coordination. High-profile lawsuits demand thorough vetting of all involved parties and their roles in the case. By failing to secure Roberts' full commitment or approval, The team not only jeopardized their strategy, but also gave Harris and his defense team a significant advantage. If Harry's legal counsel cannot ensure basic procedural integrity, it raises doubts about their ability to handle a case of this magnitude. The broader political ramifications are equally significant. Public lawsuits involving elected officials are rarely just about legal outcomes. They are also battles for public trust and political credibility. Harry's leadership in Thoron Township was already under scrutiny, and this botched filing could further erode confidence in her decision-making abilities. Critics may frame the lawsuit as a reckless, poorly executed attempt to settle personal or political scores, rather than a legitimate pursuit of justice. Roberts's withdrawal and the subsequent unraveling of the case also highlights the critical importance of leadership and decision-making in public lawsuits. When pursuing legal action against a figure like Harris, evidence, strategy, and public communication must be meticulously planned. Leadership isn't just about making bold decisions. It's about ensuring those decisions are executed flawlessly. For Harry, this episode underscores the consequences of rushing into legal battles without a solid foundation. If Harry chooses to refile the lawsuit, her path forward must be markedly different. She will need to rebuild her case with airtight evidence, secure the unambiguous support of all involved parties, and craft a narrative that resonates both legally and politically. Without these elements, the fallout from this high-profile stumble may extend far beyond the courtroom, potentially jeopardizing her future in public office. To what I'm trying to say is, if Harry does choose to refile the lawsuit, her path forward must be markedly different, both legally and politically. Tiffany Henyard's decision to move forward with the lawsuit against State Senator Napoleon Harris, despite apparent gaps in preparation, raises serious questions about her leadership in Thoron Township. Pursuing a high-stakes legal case without ensuring that all critical elements, such as consent from key figures like Mayor Roberts, were firmly in place reflects a troubling lack of strategic planning. In public office, where trust and competence are paramount, such missteps can have long-lasting consequences. For many, Harry's handling of this case has become a litmus test for her leadership abilities. Filing a lawsuit only to have it withdrawn within 24 hours due to an administrative misfiling suggests either recklessness or a fundamental misunderstanding of legal processes. Public reactions to this debacle have ranged from skepticism to outright criticism, with some questioning whether the lawsuit was a genuine attempt to address grievances or a politically motivated gambit aimed at garnering attention. This perception is damaging, as it shifts focus away from the legitimacy of her claims and toward doubts about her motives and competence. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on stories like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.